Destruction from the LA wildfire has had many impacts, including on the environment. And while the full effects aren't yet known, scientists are taking action to protect our ocean. And our Sarah Pila joins us live this morning from Santa Monica to give us more insight on this. And Sarah, good morning. It's something I know we've been keeping an eye on with all of that contaminant that could potentially get into the ocean from these fires.
Very much so, Kelvin. So kelp, you may have heard of it. It is a vital part of our marine ecosystem here. Many marine species rely on kelp. It's like an underwater rainforest. They also absorb carbon, which is a big fight against climate change. And also our economy uses kelp in many different forms. But after the fires, the fear from the runoff and the pollution on the impact of this kelp was unknown. So genetic researchers came out to get samples and save this species for future restoration work. Take a look. This piece of kelp was rescued from the dark, murky ocean after the Palisades Fire and now sits safely in this tank at Altasea at the Port of Los Angeles as part of a mission to secure the future of California's underwater forests. Kevin Gaines and Hayden Schneider work with Kelp Ark, a nonprofit housed at Altasea that's home to one of the world's largest kelp seed banks.
You know, this genetic diversity is the key to resilience, and resilience is what's going to keep kelp alive into the future.
With 8,000 unique strains in their seed bank, Kelp Ark and its partners are racing to preserve the genetic blueprint of kelp, an essential marine ecosystem that supports biodiversity, absorbs carbon, and plays a vital role in food, fuel, and pharmaceuticals. In the weeks after the Palisades Fire, their team mobilized to rescue species critical to both the ocean and the economy.
If we want to start farming kelp, or if we want to be able to restore kelps in the future and just have that information, it's super important that we start biobanking it.
Between rainstorms, divers collected kelp species highly sensitive to environmental shifts, like pollution-darkened waters and rising ocean temperatures. Altasea's Marine Research Campus is a hub for blue economy innovation, where companies work on ocean-based solutions to climate challenges. Executive Vice President Jenny Crusoe says Kelp Ark responded swiftly to the unprecedented environmental disaster.
They were able to mobilize within weeks to really start getting a ground zero account of how the kelp beds were impacted by a very different fire than the Pacific coast has ever seen.
Once secured in these tanks, the reproductive material is stored in test tubes, which will one day help restore the fire-damaged kelp along our coast. Without Kelp Ark's genetic seed bank, many kelp species would be lost forever. Their work highlights the growing importance of the blue economy in protecting our planet's future. That's right here in our own backyard.
Our goal is really to get as much of that genetic diversity into the seed bank and save it so that we can put it back and have a thriving ecosystem again in the future.
A genetic safety net for our oceans, ensuring kelp forests can recover and thrive, even in the wake of a major disaster. So we're seeing that there are so many different impacts from the vast destruction of the Palisades Fire, but Kelp Ark's hope is that their seed bank will be able to preserve species and meet these types of challenges in the future. Kelvin.
Sarah, and looking behind you there, I can obviously see the water, and a lot of folks are going to be saying, I heard everything Sarah just said, but dang it, I want to know, when can I get back out there in the water to swim, to enjoy, to even surf? Where are we with that?
So, Kelvin, Heal the Bay just released a comprehensive report on the state of our ocean based on contaminants that they tested for. It's very difficult, though, to assess the safety right now for surfers and swimmers, and that's because the types of contaminants like heavy metals and other chemicals aren't normally tested. There's no baseline for human health. This is truly an unprecedented moment. So Heal the Bay says check out their report. It will really be a personal decision. You may be able to swim and surf here and there, but prolonged exposure could have a potential impact on chronic health issues. Again, more testing is needed to be certain of the full scope of this, but you can check out their report at healthebay.org.
All right, we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Sarah, thank you so much. We appreciate you as always. Well, the women's Final Four is here, and our Nikki K, she is